Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning. Okay, this room is very full and we love to see it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 National Partnership for Student Success Summit. We're going to go woo-woo. We are thrilled to be in community with you. Those of you who are here, we've got a very full room at the Department of Education. We also have scores of folks who are also joining us on live via our live stream. Welcome to all of you. My name is Mekka Smith, and I have had the privilege of supporting NPSS since its inception last July. And I can tell you that having a chance to peek behind the curtain, I can confirm there is a relentless urgency to make sure that we are providing the research-based, locally driven supports to benefit all of our students around the country. Today, we are here to recognize the work of our key partners, including our newly signed on institutions of higher education. We're also going to learn about promising practices from cross-sector collaboration between our states, our districts, our youth development organizations, and our higher ed institutions. Because when these entities work together, we don't just make magic, we get results. And that's what we're here to celebrate. I'm thrilled to welcome 3 people to the stage who represent the heart of the NPSS, the power of partnership and impact. They will each provide brief remarks and will kick off our event today. Please give a warm welcome to U.S. Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona, AmeriCorps CEO, Michael D. Smith, and Howard University student, Tyler Gwendolyn Brown. Tyler, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mekka. I'm so excited to be here today to help kick off the National Partnership for Student Success Summit. As she said, my name is Tyler Brown, and I'm a student at Howard University, currently studying strategic and legal communications. As a junior at Howard, I am proud that in response to Secretary Cardona's call to action and in collaboration with the National Partnership for Student Success, Howard University was a part of the original cohort of schools and universities committed to dedicating more of its federal work-study funds to increasing the number of students, like me, that are supporting students and tutors in high-impact roles. I attribute my passion to this work to all the great teachers and mentors that I've had throughout the years, my family, and my mom, and my uncle, 2 of the most passionate, hardworking, and dedicated teachers that I know. They have instilled a deep sense of pride and importance in my education because above all else, knowledge is power. I've had the opportunity since coming to DC to work here through the Federal Work Study at Howard University School of Early Education, a nationally accredited early childhood educational program that's run by Howard University School of Education. Through the work study, I've had the privilege of being able to work alongside some very passionate and hardworking teachers and aiding them in everyday tasks and being able to provide extra support for the students that need it. I'm also an AmeriCorps alumni. Thank you. And served as an AmeriCorps member in my home city of Miami, Florida, through a summer internship at Breakthrough Miami. Now, if you were to tell me that almost 3 years ago, I would be having the honor of introducing AmeriCorps CEO, Michael Smith, I would not believe you, but here I am today. Michael is AmeriCorps' 8th CEO, having been nominated by President Joe Biden and confirmed by the US Senate in 2021. Prior to leading AmeriCorps, he served as the executive director of the My Brother's Keeper Alliance and the Youth Opportunity Programs at the Obama Foundation. He also held the title of Special Assistant to the President and Senior Director of Cabinet Affairs at the Obama administration, where the My Brother's Keeper initiative was housed. Previously, he served as the Director of Social Innovation Fund for AmeriCorps and Senior Vice President for the Social Innovation Case at the Case Foundation. Above all else, he is a proud alumni Hall of Fame for the Boys and Girls Club of America, one of the highest honors bestowed by the organization. So please help me welcome AmeriCorps CEO, Michael Smith.
Good morning, everybody. Let's bring some energy in this room. When I say fired up, you say ready to serve. Fired up? Ready to serve. I didn't believe it. Fired up? Ready to serve. I believe it a little better. We'll try it again this afternoon. Tyler, wherever you went, thank you for that kind introduction, for your AmeriCorps service through Breakthrough Miami, and for your continued dedication to helping our youngest learners during your time at Howard. HU. There are a couple HU folks in there. That's what AmeriCorps looks like, and I am so incredibly proud. You know, you think about the work that AmeriCorps members do during their year of service, but what I'm so excited about the 1.3 million AmeriCorps members, how they take that year of service and turn it into a lifetime of service. I can't wait to introduce you 10 years from now. So thank you for your work. You know, we often say it takes a village to raise a child, and this room and the folks that are joining with us online today are not just part of that village. Your leadership makes the village possible. I don't have to tell this room that the COVID-19 pandemic pulled back the curtain on the challenges that are facing our kids, our teachers, and our schools. And despite the best efforts of many of you who are sitting in this room, kids were struggling to get to class. We were struggling to get to work and to stay in class. Learning gaps persisted across schools, and students, particularly in underserved communities, lacked the wraparound supports and individual attention that they deserved. So yes, the pandemic brought these challenges into the light, but it also raised the stakes and exacerbated the conditions that kept our kids from learning to their full potential. And that's why the president asked us to meet this historic challenge with a historic and bold solution. Recruit an additional 250,000 people by 2025. That was 2 years ago. No small task. But I am proud to say that the National Partnership for Student Success is answering that call. A new report released by Johns Hopkins showed that an estimated 187,000 additional adults served K-12 students during that last school year. So we're at the Department of Education. I know you all can do math. We had a goal of 250,000, and today we can say there are 187,000, and we're so close to that goal. These community leaders are tutoring students and providing an extra set of eyes in the classroom. They're supporting mentorship programs that improve student attendance and graduation rates. They're developing after-school and summer programs with community partners. They're advising students on applying for financial aid for college. And, you know, when I think of a lot of our folks, especially our AmeriCorps seniors that are working in the classrooms, we often, hey, AmeriCorps seniors, you know, I not only think about the work they do for our students, but how they are a lifeline for our teachers. And that just makes me so proud to be a part of that work. And they deserve all of our gratitude and support. So let's give all of these new tutors, mentors, and coaches a big round of applause. AmeriCorps is celebrating our 30th anniversary. Just a few of us. I've got the AmeriCorps Amen corner in here. You know, just a few of us were with President Clinton last week in Little Rock, so sorry you're having to hear me talk again. But since day one, education has been at the heart of everything that we do at AmeriCorps. It is our largest body of work. Today, about 50,000 AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps senior volunteers serve in nearly 10,000 K-12 schools across the country. And in addition to Tyler, we're going to hear from a few more of these esteemed alumni shortly. Over the last 3 decades, we've learned a great deal from our members, our volunteers, and our partners, particularly around the cost of recruiting, training, and retaining volunteers. That doesn't just happen by accident. That is hard work that someone has to pay for and someone has to be responsible for. That's why we were proud to launch the AmeriCorps Volunteer Generation Fund, or we call it VGF, which can help alleviate some of those burdens. VGF grants are given to community organizations so that they can have the funding they need to invest in volunteer management and that they can make a bigger impact. Over the last year, AmeriCorps has awarded more than $20 million to 21 organizations. Some are here today, Partners for Rural Impact. They're here. Good to have you here. Reading Partners, AARP Foundation from my home state, the Massachusetts Commission on Volunteering Service, and the New Jersey Commission on Volunteering and Service. This funding is going to support more than 40,000 volunteers in NPSS-aligned roles. I was thinking about meeting with President Clinton last week at that 30th anniversary of AmeriCorps, and a quote that he shared during the launch of AmeriCorps, he said, "Service is a spark to rekindle the spirit of democracy in an age of uncertainty. When it is all said and done, it comes down to three simple questions: what is right, what is wrong, and what are we going to do about it?" So I want to thank you all for stepping up and for choosing to do something about it. The organizations who recruit volunteers, our college and university partners who get their students involved in the community, and of course, our NPSS partners at Johns Hopkins and the Department of Education. It is now my honor to introduce my partner in this work, the Honorable Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona. Dr. Cardona brings decades of experience as a teacher, which I think is his proudest role, a principal, a district administrator, and a state leader to his role as Secretary of Education. He is a firm believer that being an educator isn't only a job, it's an extension of your life's purpose. Secretary Cardona's focus throughout his career on raising the bar for equity and excellence for all learners guides his leadership of the Department of Education in service of our nation's 65 million students and families. So please join me in welcoming my friend and partner, the 12th Secretary of the United States Department of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona.
All right, thank you very much for the introduction, Michael, but more importantly for that partnership and the energy you bring to this important work that we have been asked to collaborate together on. And I feel like our agency is better and our country is better because of the great work you do and the partnership that we have. AmeriCorps has been critical in this work. We're grateful for the collaboration. And let's give another round of applause to Tyler Gwendolyn Brown. You represent what's good in our country and the hope that we have. We were in the back room there a little while ago, and she said, "I think you met my mom." I went to Miami, and when you think of Miami, right, I don't have to tell you, right? You're thinking about Miami. Her mother works at, she leads a school that has a wonderful CTE program. And I was just amazed at how wonderful they have connections to careers in that school. One of those schools where I visited, and I said, "We got to blow this up. We got to elevate what they're doing here." So it's no surprise to me that I get an opportunity to meet you, and yours is wonderful. So congratulations to you, to your mother, your whole family. You're doing great things. It's students like you who are making the National Partnership for Student Success a success. So thank you. I also want to give a shout out, and I see some folks, a lot of friends in the audience. In particular, I want to shout out Ray Hart, who leads the Council of Great City Schools, the largest superintendents, largest districts in the country. Thank you for your partnership and the work that you're doing to help move this work along. Deputy Secretary Cindy Martin's here. You'll be hearing from her later. Such a great advocate, former superintendent in San Diego, but man, she lives this, and we're so thankful to have her leading this work at the Department of Education with so many others. I see Sheetal here, I know Joaquin is here. I also want to give a shout out to Secretary John King, Dr. John King right there. He's secretary to me. I know you're gonna participate later, and I really appreciate your presence here today and your partnership. Tyler gives me hope, but when I have chancellors across the country that are just understanding what needs to happen and doing the work, man, I really feel optimistic about where we're going to go as a country. So thank you for being here and everything you're doing. Today, we honor the connections that have been built through the National Partnership, the big goals that have been advanced and the students who've been championed. We honor the way NPSS is providing our students with support by helping districts, youth-serving organizations, colleges, and states. Those of you who are engaged in this work are tutors, your mentors, your post-secondary transition coaches, your wraparound coordinators, your success coaches. You're supported by the best in the business. including AmeriCorps and the Everyone Graduates Center at Johns Hopkins University. And you're changing the game for young people. As Michael noted, in just 1 year, thanks to the hard work of this group of leaders across the country, there are 187,000 people in NPSS roles. That's amazing. You know, one thing we learned, or was reinforced during the pandemic, is that it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child, right? And early on, we found out that what students needed were warm meals. What they needed was a safe and secure environment. What they needed was broadband access. What they needed was a device. So the village came together to do that. Now they need more than that. They need to recover, and they need mentors, and they need support people. They need people in their corner. And there's so many people doing that work. Many more of you are doing this in community-based settings too. So for example, take Park High School and Earl STEM Academy in Chicago, where AmeriCorps supports young people as tutors, as success coaches, post-secondary transition coaches. We're already seeing results in these schools and in other places. And so we're staying focused. We're going to stay focused on this. It's not just that our students face challenges like never before, although they do. We're still picking up the pieces from a global pandemic. Pieces like learning loss, educator and staff shortages, and declines in mental health. I don't have to tell you, 1 in 3 high school girls over the last 3 years has considered suicide. That mental health need is great. We're going to keep focusing on that, but today we're going to reframe that narrative. It's not that our students' needs are too urgent. It's that their dreams, their future, and this moment are too urgent. We can accelerate learning for every student. We know how to do it. High-quality tutoring and mentoring work. And right now we have the tools and resources to make these programs a reality. So let's continue to increase partnerships, engagement, and get more adults in NPSS role. We've outlined how schools can use federal resources from the American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, Title I, and so much more to move this work forward. We made that technical assistance clear. We're speaking in the language of school superintendents, of college presidents, of state leaders. In fact, we estimate districts will invest over half of the American Rescue Plan ESSER funds in academic recovery and staffing efforts. Districts are hiring tutors. They're training current staff. They're bringing wraparound service support coordinators and so much more. I've seen that on the road. I visited 43 states in the last 2.5 years, and I've seen how those dollars are being used to help children. We've also clarified how federal work-study funds can support college students as tutors in our schools. What better person to tell a 6th, 7th, 8th grader or a high schooler that they can make it to college than a student that looks like them that's succeeding in college? Right? It's our job to make sure we put the Tylers in the classrooms of our middle schools and our high schools. I'm thrilled that nearly 50 colleges and universities and counting have answered the call to get more college students into roles as tutors and mentors. Our college students are our greatest resource. We're underutilizing them. Through NPSS, we're getting them in the mix, and I'm proud of that. We have colleges that do it really well. That include the State University of New York, and I'm honored to have Chancellor King, who's no stranger to this building or to this work, joining us today, and I look forward to connecting later. I got to show you what I did to the office. Yeah. No, really, you're going into that role and you understand what it takes to do it systemically, and that's why you're here, because you're going to lift up not only what others can do, but what you're doing. So thank you. I'm also grateful to the Everyone Graduate Center at Johns Hopkins University, which launched the NPSS Support Hub. There you can learn from best-in-class organizations like Accelerate, the National Student Support Accelerator, Mentor. Yeah, you could clap. Yeah, if you're part of it, come on. You came all the way here. When you hear it, you clap. The City Year, the National College. Yes, City Year's in the house. And the National College Attainment Network, and communities in schools. Yes. You know, when I talk about the village, that's what I'm talking about. That's the village. That's the village, and we have to foster intentional collaboration to learn from one another and make that the norm. For too long in education, we've had silos. Everybody working really hard, but just not talking to one another. We got to up the ante here now, folks. To go from 187 to 250 and beyond, we got to raise the bar there. We got to make sure that we're providing technical assistance, that we're taking good and turning it into great. We're taking some cool program and make it sustainable so that it lasts much longer than any of us in our current positions. You follow me? That's the leadership challenge we have today. That's the next level of work, to make this part of the DNA of our districts and our states and our colleges. This is what we do now. This is not a fancy program. This is what we do now. That intentional collaboration. We're all in this together. Take advantage of all the hub and these amazing partners and what they have to offer. Request technical assistance. Put us to work. Take a look at P12 higher education and youth development toolkits. Put those to work. Revise it for us. Tell us what works, what doesn't work. Make sure that it gets in the hand. There's nothing worse than having a wonderful toolkit that doesn't have any fingerprints on it because no one's picking it up. We don't write these things for DC. We want it to be used in the field. Explore a playbook for high impact tutoring. Because let me tell you, as a former principal, as a fourth grade teacher, not all tutoring programs are built the same. What does high quality tutoring look like? Right? Because what ends up happening, you put something in that's not really high quality, and then you say, well, the kid's not really growing, so tutoring doesn't work. No, you didn't do it right. Look at the toolkits. Look at what we have to offer. These resources are high quality. They're free. They're free. And most importantly, they're gonna make a difference for the children we serve. Together, we're over 160 supporting champion organizations. That's amazing. That's amazing. And the good news is, thanks to the work with NPSS, we're rowing in the same direction. How often have you had experiences where, you know, everyone's working really hard, but like I said before, they're not talking to one another? Or the school system is disconnected from the great things that are happening in the community? Or the college is aiming over here while the K-12 system is over here and they're not talking to each other? Partnership is in the name for a reason. Look, I'm confident that with this strong, determined coalition and with unprecedented resources to back us up, we can fast track student learning and student success. That means not just returning to where we were before the pandemic. That's a low bar. That's not our goal. We need to close achievement and opportunity gaps that have been pervasive in our country and that have been normalized in our country. That's our goal. That also means focusing on what we know works. Mentoring and tutoring, along with after school and summer learning. A lot of the learning that takes place is in between the 42-minute classes, right? It's after the 6-hour school day, that connection that student has to somebody, maybe that can relate to them a little bit differently. Maybe someone that has higher expectations or a belief system in that kid that kid doesn't even have. That's what we're doing. That's what we're celebrating today. 187,000 people have signed up to look a kid in the face and say, I believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. And your story of challenge is not going to define you. As a matter of fact, it's going to make you stronger. It's what makes you special. That's amazing. The conversations that have happened since NPSS has started, the beliefs children now have in themselves as a result of this work. Look, when I think about the why of our work, I think about students like Tyler talking to a high school student who maybe doubts himself. Say, no, you could do this too. She's dominating at Howard. You can dominate too. That's what's happening across the country. Let's never lose sight of that. While it's difficult sometimes to take systems and make them work together, right? Or to have an authentic invitation in the room where decisions are made. What you're doing, that fight, is ensuring that students like Tyler can make a connection with a student that just needs to be tapped on the shoulder. And sometimes it's a mentor that does it. Sometimes it's a tutor that does it. That's what we're doing here. I know many in this room support our Engage Every Student initiative that expands access to quality learning opportunities beyond the school day. That's another program that, if you don't know about it, Google it. Or see Sheethel on the way out. Sheethel will tell you everything about it. Look, as a school principal, I would tell you, there were students that left school whose parents can afford to do the soccer thing, could do all these different programs. And then there were students that just relied on what our schools offered. And I was one of those kids. I'm a product of whatever the public school can offer. So when we talk about Engage Every Student and investing in out-of-school time activities, weekend activities or summer activities, that's sometimes what sparks a curiosity in students to believe in themselves as learners, as future college students, as future secretaries. I want to thank you for all you do to support students' well-being alongside their academic growth. I want to thank you for seeing the potential in each and every young person in this country. I want to thank you for raising the bar, and I want to thank you for being here and for the partnership that you have, the work that you're doing to make sure that every child in this country has someone they can look to, whether it be a mentor, a tutor, somebody in an after-school program. What you're doing and in your participation in this is what we want to see happen for the future of education. This has to be the rule, not the exception. And with MPSS, we've got a great start. Let's keep fighting together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Secretary Cardona. All right, so we're not going to quiz you, but in a space full of educators and youth-serving organizations, we do have to be really clear on our definitions. The National Partnership for Student Success is a public-private partnership, as you've heard earlier, led by the U.S. Department of Education, AmeriCorps, and the Everyone Graduates Center at Johns Hopkins University. And the NPSS helps states, districts, schools, local communities, youth development organizations, colleges and universities, and others who support youth to partner and implement, expand, and improve programs that are supporting student success through 5 evidence-based roles. These are tutors, mentors, student success coaches, post-secondary transition coaches, and wraparound or integrated student support coordinators. That's a mouthful. So collectively, we tend to refer to these roles as people-powered supports. While there's still work left to be done to support all students, we're just really thrilled by the progress that we've already made toward our goal, set by the president, of ensuring that 250,000 more caring people are directly connecting with and supporting our students. And I just want to give a quick heads up. This is the audience participation portion of the program. So I really want to encourage you to get a little loose in the name of student success. We're going to do a little bit of celebration for the estimated 187,000 people who took up these roles this past year. And we're going to celebrate those who continue to step up and support young people in these roles. And this is how we're going to do it. Now, more than 1/3 of all schools surveyed this spring through a RAND Corporation survey reported increasing the number of adults providing NPSS student supports during the 22-23 school year when compared to the previous school year. Awesome, we love to hear it. 87% of principals reported providing at least one NPSS support during the 22-23 school year. And 53% of principals reported providing high-intensity tutoring, including in 62% of schools where the majority of students qualify for free or reduced lunch. And we're really excited by this progress. So in order to celebrate this, we're going to get a little bit deeper, and I'm going to start calling out some groups. You might want to put your phones down if you've got this. If you're a part of this group that you hear, you're going to need to get on your feet, and I'm going to give you one other task. If you're not a part of the group, your one job is just to cheer and celebrate them and hype them up and tell them how awesome they are. I'm a former cheerleader, and so I'm going to really, really insist that we do this well. I have very high expectations for this group. Okay, this only works with robust participation. All right, if you're a part of this first group, just stand and take a bow. It could be a curtsy, a nod of the head, whatever you want to do, but you deserve it. If you work for an NPSS Hub Technical Assistance Leader at Accelerate, City Year, Communities in Schools, Mentor, National College Attainment Network, or the National Student Support Accelerator, please stand and remain standing. Let's give them a hand. Take a bow. Please remain standing. So they have followed my directions. They stood, but I didn't see any bowing, so I'm gonna call you out lovingly. Okay, thank you. Some of them are doing it in front of me. And I'm gonna continue with the high expectations for this next group, and something tells me they're gonna be into fist pumping. So get on your feet and get your fists in the air if you are from a college or university that is part of the NPSS Higher Education Coalition. There are 49 campuses from across the country, many of whom that are here today, and they have set goals to place more college students in high impact roles supporting pre-12 youth. Let's hear it for them. Let's get those fists going. Yes. All right, yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Excellent progress. Please stay standing. If you are an NPSS supporting champion, collaborating at the national, state, or local level, please stand and let's raise the roof for student success. Come on, you can do it. All right. Okay, this is encouraging. Stay standing, love it. I'm feeling the energy rise. Now, over 165 organizations and counting have joined the NPSS as supporting champions and committed to collaborating with each other and with others in their communities to bring more high-impact student supports to young people. If you work for a school district, a school or a district that has expanded programming in one of our key roles, please stand and give someone near you a fist or an elbow bump. Let's cheer for them. All right. Yes. Thank you. If you're an AmeriCorps alum, please stand and give a Queen's wave. We'd love to see it. And keep standing. And if in any way you have contributed to helping more young people have direct connections to a tutor, a mentor, a success coach, a post-secondary transition coach, or an integrated student support coordinator, please stand and give yourselves a silent applause. All right. You can sit. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. You did a great job. So it's really great to be in a room today full of people so committed to supporting young people to succeed and thrive. That was really fun. I hope you had fun. Let me just go over a little bit more about what you can expect today. So you can expect to hear from leaders and practitioners from school districts, from institutes of higher education, nonprofit youth-serving organizations, intermediaries, state and federal agencies, and AmeriCorps alum, who are all working to bring more evidence-based and high-impact supports to young people in their communities. Following the main stage panel this morning, you're going to hear more about the technical assistance offered by the National Partnership for Student Success Hub at the Johns Hopkins Everyone Graduates Center. You're going to have an opportunity to connect with your peers over lunch, and you're going to hear from practitioners implementing high-impact student support programs at the state and the local level. I encourage you to ask questions, connect with someone you don't know, and make sure that you are thinking critically about how you can continue to deepen your involvement in this work today.